way of knockout, the women's pound-for-pound champion, the coal miner's daughter.
Ladies and gentlemen, she is known as the greatest female fighter of all time.
In the unforgiving world of boxing, where strength and determination are key to survival, one fighter rose from the coal fields of West Virginia to become a trailblazer. Christy Martin shattered barriers and inspired countless women to step into the ring. But behind the gloves was a far darker story, a life marked by abuse, control, and a hidden struggle with her sexual identity. Known as the coal miner's daughter, Christy faced years of torment in her marriage to her trainer, Jim Martin, who dominated her personal and professional life. At the same time, she wrestled with her truth, hiding her identity in fear of losing everything she had worked for. Yet, through all the pain and turmoil, Christy found the strength to survive and reclaim her life. This is the story of a fighter who defied the odds, overcoming unimaginable challenges to become a symbol of resilience and courage. Tonight, we explore the rise, fall, and ultimate redemption of Christy Martin.
That I wasn't dying fast enough from just the stab wounds. You shot me. You shot me with my own gun, basically point blank.
Born on June 12, 1968, in the rugged coal mining town of Mullins, West Virginia, Christy Renea Salters grew up surrounded by grit and determination. Her father, a coal miner, instilled in her a fierce work ethic and resilience from an early age. Christy's childhood was shaped by the unforgiving reality of life in a working-class community, where strength and perseverance weren't just virtues, they were survival tools. It was this foundation that earned her the nickname, the coal miner's daughter, a title that would follow her throughout her legendary career. Initially, Christy's passion was basketball, where her competitive spirit shone. She played for Mullins High School, excelling on the court and later earning a basketball scholarship to Concord College in Athens, West Virginia. But while basketball honed her athletic skills, it was boxing that would capture her heart. In 1986, Christy entered her first Tough Woman contest on a whim, and despite having no formal training, she emerged victorious. The adrenaline, the challenge, and the triumph hooked her instantly. That win was a turning point, a moment that set her on the path to becoming one of the most celebrated female boxers of all time. In 1989, Christy turned professional, entering a sport dominated by men and skepticism toward women fighters. Armed with an aggressive style and relentless determination, she quickly gained attention. Her punches packed the power of a heavyweight, and her ability to overwhelm opponents with a combination of skill and tenacity made her a force in the ring. Over the next few years, Christy built an impressive record, establishing herself as one of the top female fighters in the world. But it was her bout against Deirdre Gogarty on March 16, 1996, that changed everything. Fighting on the undercard of Mike Tyson's comeback against Frank Bruno, Christy delivered a performance so electrifying that it not only stole the show, but also landed her on the cover of Sports Illustrated, a groundbreaking moment for women's boxing. The fight itself was a brutal, bloody battle, with both fighters showcasing incredible heart and skill. Christy's victory solidified her reputation as the coal miner's daughter, a fighter who could hold her own on the biggest stage. Christy's career soared from there, earning her worldwide recognition. Over the years, she amassed an impressive professional record of 49 wins, 7 losses, and 3 draws, with 32 of those victories coming by knockout. Her aggressive style and ability to adapt to her opponents made her a feared competitor. She faced some of the best fighters of her era, including Mia Saint, Belinda Laraquente, and Holly Holm. In 2009, Christy captured the WBC Super Welterweight title, adding yet another accolade to her storied career. She became a pioneer for women's boxing, breaking barriers and proving that female fighters could draw crowds and deliver excitement on par with their male counterparts. Her success inspired countless women to step into the ring, and her name became synonymous with toughness, heart, and unrelenting determination. But while her career flourished in the spotlight, a darker narrative was unfolding behind the scenes. A story of abuse, control, and personal struggle that would later come to define her incredible resilience. While Christy Martin dominated in the ring, her personal life was spiraling out of control. Her marriage to Jim Martin, her trainer, and a man 24 years her senior, was far from the partnership it appeared to be. The two met early in Christy's boxing career, when Jim took her under his wing as a trainer, recognizing her talent and potential. However, what started as a professional relationship quickly became personal and controlling. As their marriage progressed, Jim manipulated every aspect of Christy's life, from her training regimen to her financial and personal decisions. He isolated her from friends and family, creating an environment where she had little support outside of him. Former colleagues described Jim as intimidating and domineering, a man whose influence over Christy extended well beyond the boxing ring. But the abuse she endured at Jim's hands wasn't the only source of Christy's anguish. Privately, she was grappling with her sexuality, a deeply personal struggle made even more difficult by the stigma of the time and the hypermasculine world of boxing. Christy feared that coming out as gay would not only jeopardize her career, but also alienate the fans and supporters who had helped her reach the pinnacle of success. As a result, she kept her truth buried, even as the weight of hiding it took a toll on her mental health. Friends have since recounted how Christy's bright persona often masked a deep inner conflict, an identity crisis compounded by the suffocating control of her husband. By 2010, the cracks in Christy's carefully curated image began to show. The pressure of living a double life, enduring Jim's abuse while concealing her sexuality, created a storm that was impossible to contain. Behind the glory of championship belts and Sports Illustrated covers was a woman fighting battles that the world could not see. It was only a matter of time before the facade crumbled, exposing the darker truths of her personal life.
911, what's your emergency?
November 23, 2010, began as a day of reckoning for Christy Martin. After years of enduring control, manipulation, and physical abuse at the hands of her husband, Jim Martin, she finally summoned the courage to tell him the truth. She was leaving him for a woman. Christy later recalled the moment with chilling clarity, knowing full well the fury her words would ignite. Jim had warned her repeatedly over their 2-decade relationship, "If you ever leave me, I will kill you." That night, those words became horrifyingly real. In their home in Apopka, Florida, a furious Jim erupted in an act of unimaginable violence. Armed with a knife, he lunged at Christy, stabbing her repeatedly in the chest and legs. Blood pooled around her as he grabbed a pistol, firing a shot that pierced her torso. In interviews, Christy described the sheer terror of that moment. She lay on the floor, her body racked with pain, watching as Jim stood over her, taunting her. "You're going to die here," he told her. For a moment, Christy believed him. But Christy Martin had spent her entire life as a fighter, and she wasn't ready to give up. Despite her injuries, she mustered the strength to fight back. She crawled, bleeding and gasping for breath, managing to grab her car keys and stumble out of the house. Outside, she flagged down a passing motorist, who stopped and called 911. The driver later told police that Christy was covered in blood, her wounds so severe that they feared she wouldn't survive the trip to the hospital. Doctors described her survival as nothing short of miraculous. The bullet had narrowly missed vital organs, and though the stab wounds were deep, they hadn't caused irreparable damage. Christy later reflected on the ordeal, saying, "I should have died that night, but I didn't. I fought for my life." Her determination to live became a testament to the strength that had defined her in the ring and would now define her fight for justice. In the aftermath, the scene inside the Martin home was described as a nightmare by responding officers. Blood trails led through the house, evidence of the brutal attack that had unfolded. Jim Martin fled the scene but was apprehended days later, found hiding in a hotel room. His arrest marked the end of a reign of terror that had controlled Christy's life for over 20 years, but it was only the beginning of her journey to reclaim her freedom. Jim Martin was arrested and charged with attempted murder. During the 2012 trial, Christy bravely recounted years of abuse and the horrific events of that night. Her testimony painted a chilling picture of a man consumed by control and rage. The jury convicted Jim, sentencing him to 25 years in prison, a small measure of justice for the years of pain he inflicted. Christy's recovery was as grueling as any fight she'd faced in the ring. Multiple surgeries repaired the physical damage, but the emotional scars required therapy and time. Despite the odds, Christy returned to the sport she loved in 2011, stepping back into the ring as a symbol of resilience. Though her return was brief, it was a testament to her unyielding spirit.
But it's a survival story, it's an underdog story, and to me, it's a fighting story. It's not a boxing fighting story, it's a life fighting story.
Today, Christy Martin's story is one of survival, triumph, and advocacy. She has dedicated her life to raising awareness about domestic violence, using her platform to inspire others to seek help and escape abuse. In 2017, she married her former boxing rival, Lisa Holwine, finding personal happiness and the freedom to live as her true self. Christy's life has been the subject of documentaries and discussions, with her impact on boxing and her fight for survival leaving an indelible mark on the sport and society. Her story serves as a reminder that even in the darkest moments, the human spirit can endure and even thrive. If this story moved you, be sure to subscribe to our channel for more incredible boxing stories. From tales of triumph to the shadows of tragedy, we dive deep into the lives of the sport's most compelling figures. Hit that subscribe button now and join us for the next journey into the world of boxing.